lucky enough to be able to argue with our sons-in-law in learning.
You're right, 100%, 100%. I could tell you one thing. If my father was around, I wouldn't argue with him, though. That's so, but whatever. Yeah. Probably wouldn't let his daughter marry me either, but that's a different point.
That Shayoshev guy? What the?
Yeah. You should know, now that you say that, Simon. Like, so my wife lost her father when she was 3-4 years old. So one of the brothers was a charged shidduchim. They, some rabbi, Shayoshev's son, they figured, he said he knew for sure. He never saw a picture. So my brother-in-law, who's in charge of shidduchim, said he thought for sure this guy's going to show up with, a small little gray hat with feathers in it. And he said the whole family, yeshivish family, is going to just be down his back. And when he saw my father, he was so relieved. He was just... yeah.
That story makes me happy. I gotta tell you, that story makes me so happy.
I figured as much.
Ari Block, when he was dating Zitzal, he had this date on the Lower East Side, and he went to go pick her up. He told me about this when he came back, and he went to go pick her up, and the father opens the door, and there's a stender, a candle. He goes, "Come in, we're taking a faher." He said, "Nope, I'm here to take your daughter out." He goes, "No, you're here for a faher first." He walked away. He's like, "I'm not doing this."
You serious?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Anyways, wow. Okay, so
yet?
What?
I said, is that girl married yet?
Oh, yeah, I wonder. Anyways, okay, so we started the parak. Yesterday, most of the daf had to do with, there was 3 different mishnayos about how far you go out of the tchum, and ama out of the tchum. Somebody gets stuck outside the tchum. Fine. Then we started how to measure a tchum. So the parak starts off with that you square off every city, which we'll get back to. We got plenty of diagrams. If you look in 2 blocks from now, there's diagrams. I don't know, Yudi Hertzberg, I don't think he's have enough memory on his phone to post so many pictures that it's going to be. But so we'll get back to it. But then the Gemara starts with Agadata. Rav and Shmuel having a machlokes, whether it should be Ma'avrין with an ayin, with an aleph. Then we got into Avram Avinu. With the Maras HaMachpelah, and a few things of Agadata like that. Now we have another blot and a half of Agadata. Some of it is pretty gishmak. Okay, so we're up to the second wide line down on Daf Nun Gimel V'Raf. A lot of Agadata about Derech HaLimud, how to properly learn, that type of thing. Okay, so Simin, Shmaina Esrei, Shneim Asa Lamandu B'David V'Yavan. Nun Gimel Amud Aleph.
Yeah, it's not far. I don't have the
3 lines down.
Okay, I got it.
No. 3 wide lines down.
Got it.
3 wide lines down, sorry. Yeah? Did Parrots hit the record?
Parrots is in your house.
I know. Did
Yes.
he hit record? Okay.
Yeah, someone hit record.
Fine, thank you. Amar Rav Yochanan, Yudches Yamim Kedalti Eitzer Rav oyshia Beribi. I was by Rav oyshia Beribi's house for 18 days, and I only learned one thing from him. Right? Now I don't know what that means. Is that he's trying to say something negative?
No, but the Mishnah Seinu about our Mishnah.
I'm saying, well, that the Gemara is going to get to after.
No, but he learned a lot from him, but only one thing regarding our Mishnah, which is why we're mentioning here.
Yeah, but he says Ella Dover Echad. I mean, if he would have said La Menu Dover Echad, well, no, then you're right. It says Ella means he only learned one thing. Okay, you're saying it's not a negative.
In our Mishnah.
Correct, in our Mishnah. But the Gemara is going to discuss what that means with our Mishnah in a minute. But okay, I wasn't sure of what was his point. I mean, why is it okay? That's the way we talk. It's a double negative. He could have said "V'lamadati mimenu" one thing. Okay, that's the least of the kashas on tonight's Gemara. Okay, so Ketzad, what was it? Ma'avrין Asarim ba'alef. That it's Ma'avrין Asarim with an aleph, not with an ayin. Right? From the word aver, like we said, like a limb. So Gemara says, Eini v'amar Rav Yochanan Yudbeis Talmidim Haglili Rav oyshia Beribi. There were 12 Talmidim to Rav oyshia Beribi. Yudches Yom Gidalti B'nei, and I it's also an interesting word. Gidalti means I grew up. Right? I mean, you don't grow up in 18 days. At least I didn't grow up in 18 days. Right? I'm saying Gidalti means he was there for 18 days. It's interesting. Maybe he grew in learning because grew in whatever. But the Manti Leiv kol echad ve'echad v'chachmas kol echad ve'echad. And I learned the leiv of each person, v'chachmas kol echad, and how smart each one of them were. Leiv kol echad ve'echad v'chachmas kol echad Gomar he learned Gemara loy Gomar. So the Gemara is asking, what do you mean? He learned. There were 12 Talmidim there, and he learned how smart they were and how smart they were. Well, they're both Lashonis of smart, but he didn't learn any actual Torah. So Gemara, that's the kash. It must be he learned more than just one thing on the Mishnah. He was saying Minayu ditu Gamar, Minay didei loy Gamar. He learned from the Talmidim, but he didn't learn from Rav Oyshia Beribi. He only learned one thing from him. One thing in the Mishnah he learned, but he learned a lot of other things from him too. See, that sounds like, right? That sounds like in the Havamina, the Gemara didn't think, right? The Gemara is saying it now, but Mishnah is saying it.
Yeah, it sounds like a negative. Sounds like it wasn't a positive thing.
Yes, I don't know. I'm not sure. Okay, fine. When I learned Torah by Rav Oyshia, we would sit 4 people in an amma. Amrav, Kishinu learned the Torah Rav and Shmuel. He was one of the Asar Rugim Malchus, right? I think so. Hayunu Yashun Shisha. We would sit 6 people in an amma. Right? Now that's almost. I mean, how do you fit 6 people into an amma? Right? Even 4 people into an amma is a chiddush, but 6 people? That's really.
Social distance.
There's certainly no social distance with that. That's for sure. Right?
They bring here the Marsha says it was an ace.
It had to be an ace. But Rashi, see, it's interesting. Rashi says we were so close to hear. We were so excited to hear the learning. We pushed each other, and then we were able to fit 6 of us into. We were able to fit 6 of us in. Okay, so
that stuff. Now when Gilbo comes to push.
Yeah, but I'm saying 6 people in one amma is
but they get a rev and pushing over there.
by Ger, yeah, they do that. That's true. Amar Rav Yochanan, Rav Oyshia Beribi b'Dairek, Rav Meir b'Dairek. Rav Oyshia Beribi in his door was like Rav Meir, and his door Rav Meir b'Dairek lo yichlu chaver lamed al seif daitoi. Just like Rav Meir, none of his friends could understand what he was saying, meaning they couldn't get to they couldn't figure him out. After Rav Oyshia lo yichlu chaver lamed al seif daitoi. So something with Rav Oyshia. They couldn't even get to Seif Daita. Maybe that's what it means that he only learned one thing. Maybe he only learned one thing that he understood from him, and everything else he didn't understand. Right? Maybe he was so above his head. Right? But I think this is the source for like when Bachram come home from yeshiva and they say, "My Rosh Yeshiva is such a great shir." Nobody understands it. So why are you going there if nobody understands it? Right? That's right. This is the source. That right? That. The Gedolim, they don't understand. Maybe this is a makar for that. Okay. Amar Rabbi Yochanan. Liban shal rishonim kepisre shal ulam. Now, here's another thing. This means, what is Liban shal rishonim? The hearts, right? But it doesn't mean the hearts. It means their brains. Clearly means their brains. It's interesting that it calls the brain the heart. And then you could do a lot with that. You can do a lot with that hashkafically, right? I'm saying when the Gemara says a person, the famous line everybody knows, that a person shouldn't only learn what his heart desires, right? Liban, maybe that's not what it means. Maybe it means what his mind desires, right? We always touch Liban as heart. Here it doesn't mean heart, right? So whatever it is, Rabbi Yochanan is saying that the hearts of the Rishonim is like the opening of the Ulam, right? Which was, if we remember from way back in Shabbos, that was 20 amas wide, right? And the Heichel was 10. The ones that came after that was like the opening of the Heichel, which was not as big. It's 10. We are like the eye of a needle, right? That's the eye of a needle that a needle that you use to sew, which that's how what do you call we are, right?
My self-confidence is booming.
Yes, can you imagine? This is the Gemara talking, right?
Where did you get the pshat that Liban is the mind?
What?
Where did you get the pshat that Liban is the mind?
I'm saying, what else does it mean?
No, I had the same kasha this morning when I learned it.
Right. So I looked in the art scroll. In the art scroll, I don't remember what the art scroll said.
No.
Mind?
The mind.
We're about 10 lines up from the bottom, Gersh.
Earlier scholars.
The art scroll says minds, but it's got to be. It has to be. It's got to be. We're talking about brains now here. right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. So that's what it seems.
Certain
That's what it
things
seems.
you only understand after you open up your lathe. Then you let your mind understand it. You have too many clippers
Oh,
without your heart opening. Then your mind can understand, because your mind would have understood, except your heart was closed.
I hear.
It's something like a poetic thing that he's writing. The way he writes, the whole thing we're learning, it says lave. And he's
Yes,
always
it does.
talking
I don't know.
about
It's a
mind.
very no. I'm saying it's a very interesting thing.
I'm saying so. There must be some poetic way that he's referring to it.
Yeah, I think we're about it on this the right track. Meaning, Torah is about the heart. Also, it's not just about a intellectual pursuit, as they say. Correct? It has to be something it has to be involved with the lathe. Okay.
The Nefesh HaChaim
Fine.
talks about it. The Nefesh
What?
HaChaim talks about it in Shar Aleph.
That you have to have it has to be an all-encompassing whatever.
Yeah, but also like using the verbiages of lave and mind and all nefesh.
Oh, yeah?
All these different,
It's funny that you say that because I just looked on my shelf and I saw a Nefesh HaChaim that I got from R Yehoshua, and I said, where am I going to look at that? So now, I'm Amish. I did it a couple hours ago. I saw this. So
Well, also, just for the record, Torah Aleph and Likutei Moharan talks about using your wave and bringing chayin and all that stuff. Like it's this whole crazy thing. Very, very much like Rabbanan just said.
Yeah, okay, there must be a lot on there about this. Okay, so anyways, so Rishonim was who? Rebbe Kiva. That's talking about Rebbe Kiva. Obviously, we're not talking about Rishonim Achronim like we call them. Rishonim from the earlier of the Tanoim. Achronim, Rebbe Elazar ben Shamua. Right, was Rebbe Elazar ben Shamua. Ikudamri Rishonim, Rebbe Elazar ben Shamua. That he was from the Rishonim. Achronim, Rebbe oyshia beribi, and the Achronim was Rebbe oyshia beribi. Va'anu kumloi nekev machat tzidkis, and we're like the needle that you use for clothing. Amar Abaye Vanan, and we are kisichsa beguda legamra. We're like a sichsa is how do you call it? Like a nail, something.
A peg.
A peg. Beguda de legamra into a wall. That's how hard it is for us. Well, the Gemara really is. That's how hard it is for us to understand Gemara. That's what Abaye is saying. Amar Vanan ki etzba bekira the svara. We are like putting a finger into wax for svara. So Abaye is taking on our understanding, and Rav is saying even for svara we don't understand anything, right?
Maybe that's what it means in the beginning of Gemara that you asked about. When you asked about if it's a denied, then you only learn one thing, right?
The one I'm having a hard time hearing you, but
oh man, hold on.
Better? Is this better?
a little lower, but there's less background noise. So go ahead. What are you saying?
Okay. So maybe with this understanding of the different generations between the Rishonim and the Achronim, you can understand the beginning of the Gemara that it's not necessarily a Ganai, that he's saying that he only learned one thing, maybe he just understood one thing.
Ah, right, okay, that's what you're saying. Right, hey, Enochanami, right. And because he was considered from the Gedalim. Yeah, Enochanami. Yeah. Right. And Amar Ravashi, Anan ki etzbasa bebira l'shikra. We're putting a finger into a, what do you call it? A bar, into a pit. Bebira in a bar l'shikra, for forgetting. That's how we forget. Meaning we're so bad. Now, what does it mean putting a thing into a pit? Right? Just like, so Rashi says that the same way an etzba goes into the bar, that's how fat, meaning you could just stick your finger into a bar. There's nothing.
A free fall, almost like a free fall.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah. Now, the Tosfos has an interesting pshat. Tosfos says it's like when you stick your finger into seeds, like mustard seeds. Right? So, and you could, or like you stick your finger into sand, right? It automatically makes a hole. Right? And then right when you pull it out, it fills up the hole. So he says, Tosfos at the end of the Tosfos says, Gevaldik. Imagine Tosfos is writing this. So, miyad kach anu kishanu mesayim and amesechto maschilin ha'acheres miyad sheikhin harishayna. There you go. It's good enough for Tosfos. It's good enough for me.
What does it mean?
He says, Tosfos says, the minute you stick your finger into sand, right, and it makes a hole.
And then it fills
Then
in.
you pull it out, the sand fills it immediately. You
learn
learn a Masechta, you start a next one, boom, it's like it fills right in.
has to have that underlined like previous years.
I don't know.
Notes on
Let me tell you. I mean, I don't know. It's depressing for the island, but if Tosfos is having these issues, then and he didn't have a smartphone, so whatever. Fine. Yeah. Amar Yehuda Amar Rav Bnei Yehuda shekpido al l'shaynam eskayma terasim biyadam. So the Bnei Yehuda that were makbid on their lashon, right? So then, see, it's interesting here how the Gemara plays out, because Rashi says here that makbid on their lashon is to speak a clean lashon, not a negative. They didn't speak in negative terms. They seem to use a more upper class. From the Gemara on base, not mashma like that so much. Okay, but because of that, so Bnei Yehuda niskayim teirasim b'yadam. The Torah was makayim in their hands. Bnei Galil shalaik bilo al l'shayim, but the people from Galil that weren't makbid like niskayim teirasim b'yadam, their Torah was not niskayim. So midi b'kpei the Talia Milsa, right? So that's the Tali and how makbid you are on speaking. What does that have to do with keeping your Torah? Ela Bnei Yehuda the daiki lishna u'misnachi lahu u'misnachi lu simona. They're medayik in their lashon. And they always make simonim that they're able to remember things, which is what the Gemara does, right? This Gemara also has put a sim in there. Neskaymet terasin, which is what we try to do with the chazara thing of, but yeah, neskaymet it doesn't help. Neskaymet terasin biyadon, yeah, neskaymet terasin biyadon. The Torah is in there. I'm sorry, the people from Bnei Yehuda. That's why their Torah is mekayim. Bnei Galil the loydayki lishna v'loy misnachi lo simana. They weren't medayik in the lashon, and they didn't use simonim. Then their Torah is not mekayim in their hands. Yeah. When Rav Nosson Tzvi's mahalach always was everything was numbers. Rav Nosson Tzvi Finkel's right. Everything was numbers. How many machlokes Rashi Tosfos? How many terutzim in the Gemara? I learned a lot from that mahalach. Just always numbering everything. It did make it. He once said a shir klali where he had, I think it was 11 machlokes Rambam. Tosfos, and he made it all into one machlokes, but it was I remember 11. That part I remembered. I have no other recollection of what else, but there was 11. Yeah. So Bnei Yehuda, Gomer Michad Rabba, Niskamet Terasim B'Yadam. So this is a different shot. So Bnei Yehuda had one Rebbe, so Niskamet Terasim, they were able to mekayim the Torah. Bnei Galil, Delay Gomer Michad Rabba, they didn't have one Rebbe. Loi Niskamet Terasim B'Yadam, they would not mekayim the Torah. This is against all chinuch rules of Bizman Hazeh. They dafka don't want the Rebbeim to be teaching the same class of 2 years in a row. It's like a big negative thing, at least in the elementary high schools. They're very anti. You would think you carry the same Rebbe all the way through. That's what the Gemara says. Look at the Tosfos. There's another important Tosfos here.
They don't want you to have the same Rebbe. We don't have the same Rebbe.
They don't. They dafka don't have the same Rebbe for next to this. I don't know. Maybe Naftali said he had the same Rebbe for 2 years, so it's a raya that you should not have the same Rebbe.
Oh, so you're saying his is? Oh, it explains a lot.
I'm just relaying what he said. I'm not saying.
It explains a lot of things.
Relaying what he said. What?
How it all fits together. It explains a lot of things.
There you go.
Now that Rebbe's in real estate.
Right now Tosfos though says an interesting chilik. The bottom Tosfos says, "The Gemara Rav Echad Adif." When you're learning how to learn a Gemara, then one Rebbe is better. Because you have different lashonos and different ways of translating things. Aval the mezbar, but for svara, I'm reading Parakamad Avodah Zara. If you only learn from one Rebbe svara, then all you get is his mahalach, and you should go spread it out and hear how other people say svaras. Right? I understand. This Tosfos I got to understand. Right? When you're learning how to make a laning and all that, then go to one Rebbe. But after that, I see with my kids when I learn with them, right? And the Rebbe teached it one way, and I would teach it another way, and I have no idea how to. The teach should go bust to the Rebbe, not me, and I don't know because the sheets were left in school, right? So I have no idea how to teach it. I don't know, Go ask your Rebbe how to teach it. All right. Anyways, that's another pshat why in Yehuda they had more Torah. Bnei Galil the loy gimrim mechad Rabba loy niskamet terasim b'yadam. Fine. Ravina Amar Bnei Yehuda the Galil Masechta. Right? Niskayim terasim b'yadam. Yeah, so Rashi says, what's a pshat here? What does it mean, the Galu Masechta? So Rashi says, the first pshat is they taught other people. That's what Rashi says, Kach Shamati. Rashi heard that pshat in that is that they taught other people. Others say, until they went through it, and they looked for the reasons behind what they learned. They didn't just parrot it like we do with the multiplication table. They tried to learn the lumdus behind it so they can understand it better. Fine. Galil the loy Galil Masechta loy niskamet terasim b'yadam. Fine. David HaMelech Gali Masechta. He did these type of thing. He was Megala Masechtas. He revealed Masechta. Shaul loy Gali Masechta. And Shaul was not. David the Gali Masechta Ksibe Yerocha Yerune Yismechu. those that those that have yira from you, I don't know if it means scared here, but then they're gonna see me and they're gonna be happy. Shaul, the loy gali masechta, but Shaul, who did not learn masechtas like that, ksiv bey, asher yifna yarshia, right? On Talmud Beis, asher yifna yarshia. What does it mean? That it means that he did not. Rashi says, Shaul was not zeicha because he wasn't ma'ayin in the learning. He was not zeicha to paskin properly, whatever that means, right? But that's what it's saying because he wasn't ma'ayin in the learning. Fine. Which you see, by the way, it's klar, right? Any when you get halacha from kitzer svarim and these type of things, it's not the same thing as learning the sugya karoi. The only way to do it is to learn the sugyas karoi, and then you have some possibility of remembering something. Yeah. Then we just say agav that right. So Shaul, killed out that whole city of Noiv, the whole city of Kahanim of Noiv. So how do we know that Hakadosh Baruch Hu was Meichelim? Shenemar machar ato b'necha imi mechitzasi. Tomorrow, you and your kids are going to be with me in my mechitza, right? So it must be that he was in his mechitza. So it must be he was Meichelim for killing out all those, all that whole city. I personally, since we're in the season of mechila, I mean that's not a pashut thing to be Meichel, right? I'm saying people ask before Yom Kippur that people really did terrible things to them, and do they have to be Meichel? I don't know. I'm saying he killed the whole city of Ira Kehanim, and the Rebbeinu Shalom was Meichelim. That's pretty. What?
How could a Kodesh Baruch be Meichelim?
You're right. And Chanania. I don't know. But the bottom line is that Kodesh Baruch Hu was Meichel. I think most of the
who else is gonna Meichel him if the I'm saying
that's true, but I'm saying, but he. Well, the truth is, maybe he needed mechila from the people too. You're right. I don't know. But outside the Rebbeinu Shalom, he certainly needed mechila.
Also, why does the Gemara use the lashon of oyshia avon here? Don't they also do that by chit bat sheva? Also, they call it oyshia.
Yeah, they use it. They don't. Any oven that they don't want to mention. Usually, oyshia oven is something that they don't want to discuss. Right?
No?
Yeah. I don't know. What? Same Gemara brachas, right?
Same Gemara brachas.
I thought so, but I didn't want to bring it up because I didn't want to be chaylik on Taisus. It says that you learn a new Masechta, you forget the old one. So I didn't want to. The same daf. I didn't want to.
I didn't know which Amud it was. I didn't even know which Masechta it was.
My guess was that it was in brachas, but
No, but it's 2 Masechtas back. Maybe you get it back.
Maybe I hope. Yeah. Okay, so Amar of Abba.
Maseres Hashastas, you're based on the base. And I remember the Gemara.
I was looking in the Maseres. Oh, the Aleph says. Yeah, because I'm in a Gemara that doesn't have the asterisk. I'm very spoiled with that, just looking to the left. Once I get into letters, I ignore it unless necessary. Okay, Amar of Abba. If somebody asks the people from Yehuda, right, about the if you're going to ask the Bnei Yehuda very makbid on their lashon, like we just said, Ma'avrin Tanan, they're going to say that it's with a Ma'avrin Tanan or Ma'avrin Tanan. Is it with an aleph or is it with an ayin? Achuzei Tanan or Achuzei Tanan? Those are types of makas, not makas. What do you call it? Mumin in animals. So is it achuza with an aleph with an ayin? Yodi. Then they're going to know. Yeah, meaning because they're very makbid on the lashon, so they don't know. You got those type of guys that are very makbid on TikTok. They always know what's going on with the, which the Korean ksivs and how it should be read. Mila, Milaraz, Mapik Hayes, all that stuff. Yes, Shailinu. So when they asked Varmilei, Ikadatani Ma'avrin, Ikadatani Ma'avrin, and they answered them, no, there's the Yesh v'Yesh. Some say with the aleph, some say with the ayin. Ikadatani Achuzay, Ikadatani Achuzay. Some say with the aleph, with the ayin. Bnei Yehuda. Taiki Lishna.
Can I?
Yeah.
These 2 Ikadamris, is that the raya that it worked? They asked him, and then they didn't get 2 different answers from those people, from the Bnei Yehuda. They got one answer, but because the people who asked were not Bnei Yehuda, they couldn't remember it. So there's 2 Ikadamris.
Yeah, but I thought the Bnei Yehuda are saying the Ikadamris, no?
No, they told them to go ask the Bnei Yehuda, and they did. And then Ikadamri, some of the people who went to ask said with an aleph. Ikadamri, some of them said with an ayin because they couldn't even remember when they asked.
I thought that. See, I thought the Bnei Yehuda were answering.
Also, I think Bnei Yehuda is answering.
I thought the Bnei Yehuda were answering yesh v'yesh. That's the way I learned it. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Okay.
I learned that the Bnei Yehuda, which then I had a this I thought you were asking, because if you learn it the way we learned it, right, then you have a kash. I understand. I thought the medayik in the lashonis they should, right? Exactly. So that's why I think maybe that's a legitimate. That the Gemara is saying. Do you see that the question of our mission is a legitimate shaila because the Bnei Yehuda themselves didn't know which way to go with it.
Or
maybe.
It didn't matter. Or it didn't matter.
Or maybe. But at least they knew.
No,
yesh v'yesh means it doesn't matter. It doesn't. Either way works.
Right.
No, halacha l'maisa. There's a big difference between the two.
Right. Well, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see in the next what the story is with them. Okay. We did that. Bnei Yehuda. Dayak lishna or medayak in the lishon. The lashon. My heat. Hu bar Yehuda. Damar lahu. There was a bar Yehuda who said, "Talis yeshli limchar." I have a talis to sell. Amrulay, my gavan talisach. What's the color of your talis? Amrlahu kitrodrin alei adam. It's like the beats of the ground. Meaning, he gave him a very exact description of what it is. That's their talis. They were medayik. Bnei Galil, the loy daiki lishnamayim. When Bnei Galil that are not medayik lishna, what does that mean? The Tanya. Hahu bar Galila, there was this bar Galila that was going. Va'amar lahu, and he was asking people, Omar leman. Who has a Omar and who has a Omar? Amar lahu, right? Galilai shaita, you're shaita from Galil. Chamar lemirkav. Do you mean a chamar, a donkey to ride on, or chamar lemishti, or do you mean a donkey to drink? Right? Do you mean Amar lemilvish? Do you say an Amar which is something that's for clothing? Or Imar liskasai? Or is it a liskasai? Is it do you want a sheep to shecht it? Yeah? So meaning the guy
says Chamar to drink, they said it's wine. Like Chamar Medina, it's wine to drink.
Oh, what did I say? Chamora. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Donkey to ride on, or is it a wine to drink? Like Chamar Medina.
Right. Yeah. That's Chamar, meaning there's wine to drink. I'm sorry. Yeah, thank you about that. Amar Lavisha, meaning they had no idea what the guy was saying. Right? So it was very unclear. So that's
they couldn't just ask him, "Excuse me, can you please repeat yourself?"
I mean, instead of calling him a shaita?
I mean, yeah.
This is an anecdote.
Plenty of people you don't understand what they say, and you say, "Can you say it again?"
Right, I hear that. Maybe that's why, right? The first pshat that the difference between Yehuda and Galil and Aleph is that the Yehuda were a high class talkers and Galil were not. Maybe very good. Maybe that's a pshat.
And certainly in today's day of everyone wearing a mask, you can't hear them when they say it 3 times.
100%. Well, you got to deal with that all day. I hear that.
Saying, and you can't see anything.
Yeah, but precision is very important. For example, if you're doing brain surgery, you don't say to the nurse, "Give me that timidity." You know, you want to be a little more precise, right?
Right, but how do you know he wasn't? He said Omar Laman. So
that was the point. You have to be more precise.
It could be an ayin or it could be an aleph, right? It could be an ayin or an aleph.
Well, the point is you have to be more precise.
Yeah. Okay. Fine, let's see. Can
I just ask a question though? We use the Gemara for halacha, but we also use it for machshava and derech eretz and things like that. But Lamaisa, sometimes I feel like they give these examples to learn how not to act. Like we're consistently like hearing about rabbis like insulting each other or calling people shaitan. Like, why are we learning this? Why are we learning like this nasty part? If we're
don't be so sensitive.
Right, so I shouldn't feel so bad. That's why.
What?
You move out of town, you turn into a snowflake. Stop that.
Oh, Simon, the island's taking you on. Simon.
I don't understand what's going on here. I live in a Republican state. You all live in the Democratic state. I
do not.
Yeah, well, fair enough.
I hear Simon's point.
Simon's saying here.
There you go. I'm saying, so I hear maybe the Gemara say not lav dafka where they tzaddikim everybody in the Gemara. That's what you're saying.
We just learned like we're like the lowest generation and we're so small and this anivis and then The Rishonim were these massive. Their brains were as wide as this. And then here we're talking about, hey, you're an idiot because you come from the Galilee. Like,
it's an anecdote. It's an anecdote. It's an anecdote.
It could be an anecdote, it could be any of it, but it's two separate sides of the spectrum of how we're supposed to act.
Right. Yeah, here. I don't know.
But again, I think if somebody's doing brain surgery and he said, give me that thimagigi, that could be very dangerous. So they're trying to emphasize precision.
Yeah, no, I hear that.
Baruch
Okay.
Hashem, I don't believe they were doing brain surgery back in the times of the Gemara, you know?
Right. He was just on the street looking for something, you're saying, but yeah.
Yeah, but they're teaching you that you have to be precise in what you say.
Yeah. Okay, let's see weiter. And then we get some more strange stories here. It's a woman that wanted to tell her friend, Toi, come to ochel chalva. This guy want to give you fatty things to eat. That's what she wanted to say. Amrullah shalchusi la tuchlich libya. A lion should eat you. Yeah, that sounds relatively close to atah de ochel chalva. Yeah. Fine, so that was something that messed up. It's a da'asi l'kamei the daina. There was a woman who came from the dayanim. Amrullah, she said to them, Mori Kiri, he's my master, my slave. Tafla, obviously, I had a, what do you call it? Rashi says it's a tabla. He wanted to say, what? A beam, but she wanted to really say a tabla, a tablet, like we had yesterday. V'gonvuch min, you stole it from me. V'kadu havas dachar shadru lach ilavi. And when you're gonna have it, then they're gonna hang you on it. And your feet are not going to hit the ground. Okay. It's another one. I don't know exactly what was going on over there. Fine. Also the Rebbe, the maid by Rebbe, when she talked with chachma. Like this is already now the other way around, that she talked very wise. Amra, this is what she said. Right? Allah's nokfas bakad. The spoon is hitting the jug. Right, so what does that mean? Right, Yidun Nishra the Canaan, and then the Nishra, the Nesher, the eagles should go back to their nests. But Kadhavaboy the Leisfun, that's when she wanted them to leave. But when she wanted them to stay, Hava Amra, meaning because she was basically saying the ladle, the spoon is hitting the jug, and therefore it's empty. Right, so it's empty, and the eagle should go home. So that she's sort of like hinting to them, get out of here already. You're here long enough. You overstayed. You're welcome. But if she wanted to stay, she would tell them, she would say, Yadi basacharata mina. Right? Let's take away basacharata mina. Take a friend from her, meaning, and then the spoon will float inside the jug like a ilfa that goes to the sea, like a boat that goes to the sea. Right, so basically she was saying there, let's open up a new bottle of wine to share it with everybody. That's how she's showing she wants everybody to stay. Okay, whatever that means. Rabbi Yossi bar Asiyan ki have a mishtoi b'lashon chachma. When he would say a lashon chachma, Amar, he would say asuli shar b'mishpat b'tur miskin. Make me an ox in mishpat when it's judging b'tur miskan on a poor mountain. Right now, what does that mean? So Rashi's saying that it's instead of him saying that make me beets with mustard, right? Because trodin is similar to tor, right? Trodin is tordin, and then chardal is char and dal. Yeah. Now what's a pshat? What's he doing this for? Rashi says so nobody else should understand. Why can't anybody else understand what he wants to eat? I have no idea. What's a pshat? He needs to make a code? I don't know. Fine. And when he wanted to ask about the wife of the person he was staying by, he said this, Gavar pum din chai, is the mouth of this Gavar pum din chai, is the mouth of this person alive. Mazu toivayesh. Is there anything good? Right? That's meaning, so oshpiza, Rashi says, comes from a word, oshpi za'osh, za'ish, meaning this is a person, meaning because Rashi says he didn't want to ask, you're not supposed to ask about a wife. So he was hinting it. Fine. Rabbi Vo, ki have mishtay b'lashon chachma. Rabbi Vo, when he wanted to speak in a smart lashon, he would say this: "Itrigu lepachamin." Oh, mamash inyana diyayma. He said, "Make esrigu lepachamin. Make the esrig, right? Like make the coals like an esrig. Meaning, you want to make the coal so hot, I guess they glow like an esrig looks yellow. I think that's a pshat, right?
What? When you wanted to sound smart, you would say what? Like the esrog yellow?
I thought yellow, but I'm saying Rashi says he should make the coals very hot. That should be red like an esrog. Now, I don't know what esrog is red.
Not glow like an esrog.
Well, adumin ka esrog means literally means, so that means yellow and esrog. That's what is that what you're saying?
I mean, it says make them glow like an esrog. It can't be
right.
red.
So
right?
That's like a yellow esrog, no?
Yeah.
I think. Fine. Arkiu lezahavin, spread out golden ones. Vasuli,
like gold, yeah.
right, like gold. Vasuli shnei megide baalta, and make me two. What do you call megide baalta? Is two. What's it called? Like roosters. Yeah, I don't know exactly. Yeah. Maybe he wants two roosters, two chickens. Make two roast two what do you call it? Two roosters. Show us where, right? Hatzbinu means a tzayfa, to show where Rabbi Loi is hiding. Olatz Benaira, he's happy with what do you call it? A naira, it's a young a lady.
Why would they tell him? Wasn't he hiding?
I don't know. It's a good question, right? I don't know. So Olatz Benaira is being happy with a girl, right? Aharoinis, which is another. This is Aharoinis means from Kohen, from this I guess is the makar for calling the Aaron title-bound people the Aronis. I mean, here they're calling what? I used to think that that's a negative thing to call them Aronis, but they're calling Aaron a Kohen. They're calling a guy here a Kohen Aroni. So you know what I mean? Yeah. So he's happy with a woman who's a Bas Kohen, right? Achroinis would mean a later one. Iranis, she's Ma'oira. She's Rashi says she's Bailas Chain. V'charifas ka'adam ar. She's sharp, yeah. V'hani rasi, and she kept him up at night, right? So now he's sleeping. Therefore, that's why he's saying he was this. So let's see. Amri la isha. Some say it's talking about a woman, right? So he stayed up a whole night with his wife. Amri la masechta. No, it was just a mashal for masechta. They got a new masechta, so he was up a whole night learning the masechta. Amri la Rabbi Loi. They said to Rabbi Loi, Hatzbineni. Heichen Rabavot Sovin. Tell us where Rabavot is hiding. Amrlen Nisyayetz b'machtir. He was what do you call him? Nisyayetz. He took eitzes from somebody who's machtir, who has a keser. V'hin given them piboshis, and he went south to piboshis. Right. So who was that? Now piboshis was clearly not around then. Right.
Piboshis was David's.
What? Right. They just called him Mipibaishas because Mipibaishas was the Gadol back when David Amelech's times. Fine, so he went to learn someplace else. R Yehoshua ben Chanania, nobody ever won me like in an argument. Chutz mi-isha tinoik v'tinoikus, except for a woman and a boy and a girl. Isha ma'i, what is it that a woman won over him with? I one time stayed by somebody's house. They made me beans. I ate them and I didn't leave over anything. The second day they made me the same thing, and I didn't leave anything over. But the third day, she burned it with salt, meaning she put in too much salt. But I tasted it and I stopped eating it. Amrali, she said to me, Rebbe, how come you're not eating? I told her, I already ate before when it was day. Amrali, so she said to me, if that's the case, then why'd you eat bread? Amrali, she said to me, Rebbe, Shema loy hinachta peya berishayna. Maybe you didn't leave over peya. Peya means you're supposed to leave over the corner of a field, but maybe you didn't leave over some of your food. But like isn't this what the Chum said? Ein mishayin peya beilfus. But we don't leave over anything in the pot. But you do leave over a little bit in the plate. So therefore, so Rashi says that the pshat is here that you were supposed to leave over some of your food for whoever made the food for you, that they should be able to eat. And he didn't do that. So this was her way. This was her way of letting him know that she chapped him, that he didn't leave her over any food. Sort of like a tip. You had to tip the people. I didn't have money to tip, so they left over food. So that's what they did. So she slugged them up. Right? Okay. Fine. Tinoikus Mahi, what about Tinoikus? Pamachas Yisi Malach B'derech Vayos Derech Iveres B'Sodas. Right? I was going, the road seemed to go through a field, Vayisi Malach, and I went through it.
That's a little bit. It's not really leaving the food for the plate for someone else to eat.
That's the way it was back then, yes.
Leaving it on the pot without having to touch it?
Yeah, because they couldn't leave it over. They had to serve it all to the guest. They had to serve it to the guest. You have to leave over. Yeah. Yeah, Vayisi Mahalach Ba, right? So he said he saw a field and he went through the field. Amrli Tinaikas Achas, so a little girl told me, Rebbe, lois Sadahizu, is this not a field? Right? Meaning, is this not a private field? Amarti La, loy derech kfusha. No, there's a derech kfusha. You know, something you can see sometimes in somebody's lawn that clearly people use it as a shortcut. Amrli. List him yeah, list him like you are the ones that made the grass get worn out, right? So that she slugged them up good. Okay. Tinok mahi pamachas yisi malach b'derech. I was once walking, tinok yoshev parshas drachim, and I saw a kid sitting in like a fork in the road. Which way do I go to the city? Amrali said to me, Zuk tzara v'arucha v'zu arucha v'ktzara. If you go this way, it's short and long, and if you go this way, it's long and short. And I went on the shorter, longer. Once I got to the city, it's surrounded with gardens and fields, meaning he hit a dead end. So I had to go all the way back down the road. You told me it's small. So Amrali told me back. Is it not? I also told you it's long. So Neshakta I kissed him on his head. Chachamim gedolim atem. You all are big gedolim. Migdolchem v'ad ketanchem, from your oldest to the youngest. Right? So that he was very happy with that, even though he got slugged up by the katan. Fine. So the chayra, right? He couldn't kiss the woman. Right? He got slugged up by a woman and a tinaikus and a tinuk. So the tinuk he kissed. The other two he could not. Obviously, I'm saying that's the pasha the pshat. No. Yeah. Meaning he wasn't sad that they slugged him up. That's the point. He was happy that they slugged him up. Okay.
He also only said Ashreichem that like he only praised the last.
So I don't know. I think this is the last Misa. So it's going on all, or it's only going on because he's saying it's a plural. No.
No, I think it's the last Misa because the little boy used Chachma. The other two, they had kashas. They had kashas from Halacha. You're a gamif, you didn't leave over. You didn't do what you were supposed to do. This little kid had a whole svara built up. It's short and long, and it's long and short.
I hear. Okay, mate, that's what you're saying. It's going on. 1 second. All right. Okay, I hear. Maybe.
But the another here is tremendous.
Yes, that's for sure. That's for sure.
Unbelievable.
Yep. Okay, let's see. The Galil have a causal ba'orcha. He was traveling the way Ashkechi the Bruria, right? See, Zirabaron, we're talking about the Rav Hutner, right? We found Bruria, right? Bruria was Rav Hutner's, right? Rav Rebbetzin Bruria is Rav Yonasan David's wife. Rav Hutner's. We were discussing Rav Hutner before the daf. Yeah. So, anyways, so Ashkechi the Bruria. Now, Bruria, if anybody doesn't know, Bruria was the mayor's wife, right? And she was a brilliant, educated person. Yeah. So Amra Lav Derech Nelech Lelud. So he said to her, "Which way do I go to Lud?" Amra Le Galili Shaita. Again, she started with the Galilim. You're a Galili, that's a Shaita, right? You shouldn't talk too much to a woman. You should have just said. You could have cut it down by 2 words. Okay, I don't know what you do with this Gemara. Right, I'm saying that means you mamish. You're telling the lady anything. You're asking the lady anyway. So you said an extra 2 words or 3 words, whatever it is, and that's no good. Okay, that's what she told him. Okay, Bruria, ashkachti lahu talmida, tava kagaras belachisha. Now we get into the limud gemaras. Right, so Bruria found it sounded. We're trying to do another Amud, so we can tomorrow maybe do Amud and a half and figure out to keep up to date, or at least we'll try and do some more. So Bruria found lahu talmida tava kagaras belachisha. She found a Talmud who was learning quietly. Batshabe, she kicked him. Okay, Simon, I don't know what you want to do with this one. Right, she kicked him. Right, Amrale.
How she let her touch him?
That's not a lashon. It's not a chiba.
Okay.
So Amrale, so she told him.
What does Rashi mean ba'ata boy?
What? Bata means a kick. Yeah.
Well, hold on a second. I thought you said that the Isser was only on men on women, not on women on men.
That's true. It's a more makel. A woman to a man is more makel, but it could be a lifnei iver on the man. That's the only thing. That hafkamir, there would be a woman from woman to a guy.
Okay,
Yeah.
does that work the other way around and not chiba if a man hits a woman?
Yeah, it's not chiba. If it's not chiba, well, for some people that is chiba, but I'm saying if it's not chiba, then it's mutter. Yeah. So I'm relay.
Might be a lifnei iver to get someone to hit you.
That's another thing. Yeah, that's true. Loikach kasa did not say arucha b'chal, right? Ushmura. It should be arucha set up and watched. Im arucha b'ramach evarim shalcha. If it's with all your ramach evarim, 248 evarim, mishtameres, it's going to be watched. Vim lav ena mishtameres, and if not, then it's not going to be mishtameres. So meaning you have to use your whole body, even your mouth. Okay. Again, I don't know exactly what that means because l'chayra there's many evarim that you're not using when you're learning. So I don't know. You got to use, but that was her way of saying you got to use your mouth. Tana Talmud echad hayil Rabbi Eliezer. There was a Talmud to Rabbi Eliezer.
It says it's using a loud voice.
I'm saying so that uses all 248 limbs.
If you want to, he says here the Marsha, one should always study in a loud voice because that stimulates movement in all the limbs of one's body.
Interesting. Okay.
It means when you get to talk about learning, you're waving your arms, you're moving.
But you could do that if you're quiet, you can't do that.
If you're not saying a word.
Truth is, I have a riot to you. The day after Yom Kippur, when I use my voice a lot, my whole body is sore. Really. Maybe Taka. Yeah, I hear. Okay, Vim Lav Ein Mishtamer. So Tana Talmud Echad Haya Rabbi Eliezer. Rabbi Eliezer had a Talmud Shahaya Shaina Balacha. She learned quietly. Lachar Gimel Shana Shachal. After 3 years, he forgot his learning. Yeah. So Tana Talmud Echad Haya Leila Rabbi Eliezer. Shenis Chayiv B'Sreifa L'Mokim. He was Chayiv to be Sreifa. He was Chayiv Misa. Amru Hanichulai Adam Gadol Shemish. Leave him alone because he was Megadol Adam Gadol, who Rabbi Eliezer. Yeah? Meaning, why was he Chayiv? L'chayra, because if you forget Torah, right? If you forget Torah, then you're Chayiv Misa, right? If you forget any Torah. But it really means if you forget on purpose. But if you don't, do the way you're supposed to learn it, then it's a problem. Okay. Amar Shmuel Rav Yehuda. Shinana, Pasach Pumich, Kriyu. Open your mouth when you read. Pasach Pumich, Tnei. When you learn, also open your mouth. And that it should be Mekayim you, and then your life is going to be V'sayru Chayin, and you're going to have a longer life. Shenemar ki Chayim heim l'matzeim l'chol b'sari ma'aber. It's Chayim for anybody that finds it, and it heals all basar. Atik l'matzeim el l'matzeim. Don't call matzeim el l'matzeim those who find them, right? El l'matzeim b'peh, find them with the mouth. Yeah, that's people that chazer.
Does this mean that when we're listening to a shir?
Not chazer, I mean to learn out loud. What are you saying?
Does this mean that when we're listening to a shir from you and Daf L'Moshel, we should bedafka all have it on mute and read with you?
Maybe. I don't know. I tell you, I once had a diyun with somebody, and this guy was not happy. He told me he listens to Torah tapes and this and that. So I said to him, I was speaking to a big Talmud Chacham once who said that when you go to a shir, So it's Shemea Ka'ina. The people listening to the shir, it's as if they're talking, because the person, the Magachi is being mitzvah. But when you listen on a tape, it's not Shemea Ka'ina. So you may not be Yoitze Limud Torah like that. Oh, this guy, he went to Rabbi Yeager. He told the Rabbi Yeager, he said, Rabbi Yeager came to me and said, what are you telling this guy? I said, no, I was just talking and learning. I wasn't saying that he's doing anything wrong by listening to Torah.
I don't want to quote I don't want to embarrass anyone, but when Michael Austin used to come to the early daf with Shmuel Grossman, he used to say every single word. He would say I don't know. I'm assuming he still does it. I'm saying I don't think he's on tonight, but he would say every single word whenever he would come.
Taka? I wonder. Maybe.
It was to keep himself awake. That's an early daf, man.
It's true. It's not easy to do that. It's true.
Yeah. But I don't learn. When I learn, I don't verbalize, and I'm a raya that you forget. What should I tell you? Right? I don't know. I'm saying you forget. I don't know if speaking it out loud would help. L'chayr it would. I don't know.
You have more senses. You hear it also.
Okay, so I
think also he was doing it. If you're going to make a siyum on shots or something, you want to say every single word. Let's say some people, maybe that's what he was also carrying. One is remembering it. The other thing is that you want to say so you could actually be messiahing something.
Right. No, I hear that. Okay, but you can make a siyum. Listening to a shir, you also make a siyum.
But I never asked him why he does it.
So.
What?
You're doing a maisa when you.
Yeah. Okay, this next Gemara is one of my favorites over here. I'll tell you why. Amalei Shmuel Rav Yehuda Shinana. He said to him, "Smart one, right? Chatoif ve'echol, chatoif ve'ishti. Grab and eat, grab and drink, right? The almas lina menei, because the world's going away from you. Ki hilula dami, right? It's like a wedding, right? Famous Gemara, all the Bali Musa, right? This world is ki hilula dami. It's like a wedding. It ends very quickly, so you better chaparayim and get whatever you can." Right, then we'll get to see how Rashi's pshan in a minute. If you have anything good, then treat yourself well. She'ein b'shol tainu, because there's no enjoyment in the shaul in when you're buried. Ve'ein lamaves hismamaya, and death doesn't hismamaya means it doesn't death doesn't come. What do you call it? It doesn't stop, meaning it's coming. Right? I'm going to leave it, the banai chayk, I'm going to leave it for my kids. B'sha'ol mi yagid l'cha, who's going to, how do you know that they're going to keep how do you know they're going to do it? When you're in the grave, how do you know that your kids are going to not burn through your money, which has happened? B'nei adam daim la'asvei asada, and people are similar to grass. Halalu naitzem, halalu naivlim. Some grow, some die out. Right? Meaning the kids will be okay. Now, Rashi says, what's a pshat here? Right? What's chatoif echol? Grab and eat. So all the Muslims say in this world, grab and learn and take mitzvahs and all that. Rashi says chatoif echol im yeshelcha maman lahanes atzmacha al tamten ad lamocher. Meaning, if you got the money today, go get yourself the pastrami sandwich today. Don't leave it for tomorrow because you might die. Then you're not going to have any hana. Had nothing to do with learning.
Rashi actually says this where?
I told you, this is Givaldi. The top line of the Rashi. Chatoif echol.
I love this.
I know. Me too. That's the problem.
His meat cake with the best potato.
That meat cake. That meat cake
Correct.
that Aaron Horowitz is so against.
Yeah. Let me tell you. I don't know. Rashi clearly is not learning this is a Musa Gemara.
Where's Rashi?
The top line of Rashi. Chatoif echol. Al tamtin ad lemocher. Meaning today, you got the money today, party today, right? Shema Thomas v'shuv ein lecha hano. You're not getting hano, right?
Vanos atzvacha doesn't mean to stuff yourself with gashmis.
What does it mean?
No, not necessarily.
To do mitzvahs.
But so what do I do with money?
He doesn't say stuff himself.
I mean, use the money for things that you enjoy. Money, do mitzvahs.
Please.
What do you mean? You want to say, I don't know, the Pashup Shan and the Rashi says
why Pashup Shan is to eat hamburgers? Maybe
no, but it says if you have money.
How does a person get the ultimate anon in this world? If he does.
You're 100% right.
But then
You're
what-
100% right.
What are you reading it down?
But that's not what
Wait,
Rashi
how can you-
says.
How
That's
can
not
you
what
tell
Rashi-
me that Rashi's not? Rashi's referring to Gashmias. He has
No
to be.
way, no way, no way, no
Then
way.
why say money? Why say money? What does that have to do with money?
What do you do with money? You do mitzvahs with money.
Zevi, you're such a lit back. Enjoy life.
No, but it says benefit yourself now. It's not talking about doing mitzvahs.
No, but he's saying benefit
benefit
yourself with mitzvahs.
yourself.
He's saying benefit yourself with mitzvahs. I don't think that's Pasha
No.
Pshat.
Oh, that's the Zichem Pshat.
Avada, Simchas Yomtiv, meat and wine.
That's a separate. But why you doing?
What you're saying is what the Meiri says, but that's not what Rashi says. The Meiri says like you.
What does he say?
He says it's waste as little as time as possible on one's physical needs so that the short time one has in this world can be spent more fully in the study of Torah. But that's what the Meiri and the Sfas Emes say, not Rashi. Rashi says Gashmias.
I don't believe it. You're making it up.
What do you mean, Rashi? Okay, you got it. That's Pshat in the Rashi. Right, exactly what Yitzi Sunday just posted. Read it. Yeah, you say, yeah. I'm saying that's clearly what Rashi's saying. Sorry, my iPad's done. I think. Okay, whatever. We could discuss it at a different time. But that's, I don't know. To me, it's clear that that's what Rashi's saying.
The Maharsha is mashma the same thing as Rashi.
What?
Maharsha said the Maharsha is mashma like Rashi. The Maharsha said the Gemara used the term shinana here because it means shade, the tooth. Because shinana, teeth, you should drink.
That's what the Maharsha says.
I have to check that. I'll have to check it either later. But anyways,
So how does Rashi understand the Vailan Demisni Gemara in Brachos?
how does what?
The wedding the Gemara in Brachos, the Vailan Demisni Gemara.
No, yeah, and a Chanami. So
I'm saying is Rashi kind of like,
I don't know.
what do you mean they're enjoying the wedding? What's the problem with it?
And right, but maybe it's somebody else's money.
Clearly it's a
Here
problem.
he's talking about yourself. You're making your own wedding. Maybe he's saying using your own money as opposed to somebody else's. Maybe. Okay, weiter. I'm gonna rather. We did that.
You can't just leave it like this.
What should I tell you? That's Rashi's pshat.
It's a Daf Yomi.
Listen,
It's a
Zev,
Daf Yomi.
Zev, all the Balei Musa quote this Gemara to that, like what you're saying. This world is a chasana, grab all you can, get all your mitzvahs. Everybody learns it like that. Maskim. Rashi does not seem to learn it like that.
The Maharsha, just on the next Maharsha, he says plur, the Rashi means food. He says on Rashi, choik. So the Gemara says, I should leave over to my son choik. Choik means food.
Right, that's what the Gemara, because the next Gemara calls it choik. Choik is food, yeah.
Right. So he puts it here, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And what's that no? Steak. I mean, if you have a steak, it's a good no.
Open your heart.
Basically, what Rashi's saying, what Rashi's saying.
Open your heart and have a good time.
Yes, having a
From the
steak is
Shver.
hana. Yes, some people having a
you hear
steak
the
is
Shver
hana.
talking to the son-in-law?
Yeah. Zevi, he's telling you to take your wife out on a nice date to like $550 or something.
There you go.
I mean, to a place with cashews. I don't know. Whatever.
In 8 months, in a year from now, when Corona's over.
Correct.
Go to 550.
No 550.
Whatever. I've been out of the parsha for a while. You'll forgive me.
No, but I think what Rashi is saying, people are busy saving money, put it away. Rashi's clear saying that's saving money is not the way to go. You got it, enjoy it. That's what he's saying. I think it's what Rashi's saying. He's saying don't busy saving money. That's what I think. He's not saying necessarily stuff your face, but if you have something to do now, putting away your money for the next generations, no. Enjoy it. That's what he's saying. Use it now. That's what I think he's saying. He's not necessarily saying stuff yourself with a steak and all that. And that's taking away from your olam hazeh. But if you have a tzarech, then do it. Use it. Yeah. I'm going to be Levi back in the water. If you're going in the way and you don't have anybody to go with you, right? Meaning because we say a person shouldn't travel by himself. Then he should learn Shenemar because Torah is a nice thing to accompany you to Levaya, right? Chosh b'roisha, yasek b'Torah. Somebody has a headache, you should be yasek b'Torah. How many rebbeim have told that to kids who wanted to leave early because they had a headache, right? I'm sure we all heard this, right? Yasek b'Torah. Yeah, what are you saying?
I could say b'didi hava uvda when I was in the mountains with you for that daf, and you sent me those shiurim. I was driving myself. That kept me alive the whole way home.
Oh, Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem. Those are good shiurim, though.
Yeah. It's learning on the way home.
100%. Yeah. Very good.
And the next line, the Chash B'Resha Yasik B'Tayre, just the Derech B'Dichusa. I had a chavrusa who was a hypochondriac, and he always used to quote this line, but with a question mark at the end. Chash B'Resha Yasik B'Tayre.
Oh, very good. Okay, question. Okay, I can't say that's pshat. Yeah, very good. So then, chosh begroinoi. If you have a sore throat, you should be yasek b'Torah. Shenemar v'anakim l'gargar esecha. Necklaces for your throat. Yeah, because that's a continuation of that pasuk. Chosh b'meyav yasek b'Torah. If you have a stomach ache, you should be yasek b'Torah. Shenemar refuas tehi l'sharecha. And it's going to be a cure also for your stomach. Chosh b'atzmaisav. If you have pain in the bones, yasek b'Torah. Shenemar. I'm sorry, and it should be shikuva is like the insides of the bones. Chosh b'chol gufa yaseh b'Torah. If you chosh for your whole body, and learn shenemer l'chol b'sari marpa, and to your whole basar you should be healed. So I don't understand, right? Why you need to have a limit for all? Why not just do the last limit and finished, right? So why does each specific thing need its own? Okay. Hashem is not like Mizah Pasadam. Mizah Pasadam, Adam Noisin Sam Lachaveroi, Zeh Yafalu, Zeh Kasha. You can give medicine, and for one thing it's good, and for a different disease or something it's bad. The Torah is a medicine for the entire body. Fine. Amar Rav Ami Ma'idchsiv ki noim ki sishmene v'bidne yichaynu yachtav al svasayach. Right? It's sweet when you watch it, when you learn the Torah in your stomach, right? And it's put together on your mouth. Aim b'say divrei Torah noim. When is divrei Torah sweet? Bisman shetishmene v'bidnecha, when you watch them in your stomach, meaning when you remember it. When do you keep them in your stomach? That's when you put it together with your lips, meaning the way to get the Torah into your stomach, the same way you get everything else into your stomach, which is by using your mouth to get it to your stomach. So when you use your mouth to learn, it gets to your stomach, then you're going to remember the Torah. He says a different shot. A person is very happy with his mouth, and something tvar be'itoy ma'toy. How good is something that comes in its proper time? Emesai simcha leish. When is it a man happy? Zman shemana bepiv. When he has an answer in his mouth. Meaning when a person knows an answer, you might say you feel good, you're happy. Lishna achrina emesai simcha leish b'mana piv. When is a person when is he happy when he has an answer? B'zman shedavar be'itoy ma'toy. When he speaks of something, how good it is. Rav Yitzchak Amar me'hacha ki karav elecha davar me'yoid. We had this 2 weeks ago's parsha. It's very close to you, meaning the Torah is close to you, and it's in your mouth and in your heart to do it. When is it close to you? When it's in your mouth and your heart to do it.
That's a song of the daf.
That's a song of the daf.
Come on, this is,
Yes, very good, parrots. It's very good. Right, the taiva of your heart you've given to him, and the speaking of your mouth you haven't kept away from him. Right, when does he give him what he wants? When he speaks out things. So therefore, and it's not going to be taken away from you. So therefore, you see, when you speak things out, you're not going to lose the Torah. Rava Rami Ksiv Taivas Libin Asatalei. Rava has a steer. It says Taivas Libin is giving to him Ksiv Vareshes Vasov Balmanat Sela. Right. So again, what's the steer? It's giving him his taiva, right? before even, meaning it's only when it's in his heart. And then it says, and when he speaks it out, it's not going to be prevented from him. So which one is it? Does he have to speak out what he wants, or he just leaves it in his heart? So Zocha, if he's Zoicha, Tamas leaving a Satale, then even what's in his heart is going to give it to him. Loi Zocha, if he's not Zoicha, then he has to speak it out. Right? It's interesting, right? Because people ask, like, why do I have to ask Hashem for davening? Doesn't Hashem know what I want? So here it's mashma. Well, yeah, and if you're Zoicha, Hashem knows what's in your heart. You don't have to say it out. But if you're not Zoicha, which all of us have to consider ourselves that we're not Zoicha, so we have to say it out. Tana Dvei Rebbe Elazar ben Yaakov. We'll discuss it. Yeah? Yeah, that's for sure.
When we're davening for a chayla, the marshal, and the chayla is in the room where they're saying the Misha Beirach, you don't say the full name.
Right.
So it's like Hashem knows when he's in the room. It's somewhere.
I hear.
Yeah.
You don't say the full name? Don't say?
No.
What do you say?
I think that's a minig. I don't know if that's halacha. I don't know exactly what that is, but yeah.
Shulchan Aruch brings it.
Well, you don't talk. Also, you don't daven by the foot of the bed. Or by the head. Which one is it?
The foot.
By the foot, right? No, but you also don't say because the Shechina's there, right? The Shechina's above the. There's something about the Shechina being. It's above the head, right? There's something about that.
They were saying about my mother.
Yeah. Okay. So Tana Dvei Rebbe Elazar ben Yaakov. Kol makom shenemar netzach, sela, and va'ed. Anytime the Torah uses those three lashonos, netzach, sela, and va'ed, these means like forever. Ein lo hefsek alamas means it's never gonna stop. Netzach tesiki loy loylam arav loy netzach ektzov sela. I'm sorry, loy netzach ektzov. Right? Sela dechsiv kasher shemanu kein reinu bir Hashem tzvakos bir lekenu elekim yichanenu ad olam. Sela va'ed. Sela. I'm sorry, that's Sela. That's, you see at the end of that whole pasuk that it's never going to disappear. That says the word Sela. Va'ed, Dichsiv Hashem Yimloich, the Olam, Hashem is going to rule forever. Va'ed. Okay, I guess we'll stop here. We did a little bit long, but there's a lot what to do. Now, what time tomorrow? Any votes on tomorrow?
Early.
Time is Shkia. Shkia is 6:30ish, and it's very long daf. I know it's going to be rough tomorrow.
5:20.
5:30, 5:20.
It's a little early.
So do 5:45.
Oh, it's Friday, right? It's not a regular Yom Tov, so it's Friday, 6:20. Yeah, we got to call it for around 5:30, 5:35, 5:40.
Let's call it for 5:30 because till we start, it's going to be 5:37.
Okay, we'll have to start it a little on time.
So I'm saying let's go for 5:30.
Okay, 5:30 it is. 5:30 it is.
All right,
okay.
I got a question
I'll take a shower now.
Everybody's done.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Let's say a person right now is having symptoms of COVID. They get tested, and they didn't get their results yet by the time Yom Tov starts. Are they allowed to check on their phone?
Somebody asked this to me. Somebody asked me about your last Shabbos. What does
what is it? Sakana?
What is it? What's a nafkamina? What are you going to need to get out of it?
Number one, let's say the person doesn't feel well. They have to know if they have to start checking their oxygen if they start not feeling well. And also, let's say they have a family that they live with. They have to know.
So that's the thing. So if they're all quarantining anyways, so then you have to know. If there's a reason to know medically, then you can't check it. No, you can get a guy to check. I wouldn't allow somebody to check unless it's really...
A guy or a medical professional?
No, a guy. A guy. I don't think much is going to...
Leave your phone on. Leave the screen on the whole time.
Yeah, right. But that's not the way it works with a lot of these companies. They have a portal, and you have to go into the portal. It's not like you're waiting for a text message.
Right. Yeah. So I would say to arrange it with a guy before. Unless a doctor tells you that it's imperative that you need to know, in which case I would tell you to do it like Gershon says, then leave the screen on. So you have to do the least, keep it plugged in, leave the screen on. So you have to do the least, as least malacha as possible, and then press the buttons with a shinui. But if the doctor tells you, you must know about it. Otherwise, I'm saying, say you find out in the middle of Yom Tov, so you wait another day till you find out. I'm saying, the people asking about the oxygen levels too, I say, listen, if you're breathing okay, there's no reason to do the oxygen levels, I don't think.
Well, the thing is you can't always tell because sometimes you're
It's
breathing
true, but
okay.
if you're so if it's an
older
older person, yeah. But if it's a younger person who should be, and if they're not having any great difficulty breathing,
Right.
the pump is they're okay. I mean, so you have to know each situation. That's how it goes.
Gotcha.
Okay, fine. All righty, I gotta sign off. That's otherwise.
Can I call you now or no?
Not yet. Call me like 10, 15 minutes. I'll be in the car. Then I'll.
You want to just call me whenever you're ready?
I'll probably forget, but
okay,
you
fine.
could,
Right.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I'll go to now.
Bye,
Good night, everybody.
I should call you.
Yeah.
Good night. Simon, have a good one.
Girish, I'll speak to you later, babe.
Yeah.